All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? That was playing right now. All right, let's take a look here, see what's going on. I've had the hardest time getting my live streaming platform up and running today. I had to uninstall the software, reinstall the software, start my computer up a bunch of times. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Morning, Trader Joe, Nova. Morning, morning. Darth, good morning. Hello. Mike, good morning. Doop. All right. So we're getting a little bit of volatility here in the markets, and it's really not driven off of much. I tried to see what it was. I'm not really getting much from the news feed. Had a couple of things come in here in regards to like the Biden administration and an Iran Navy commander. So it could have been some of the news that came a little bit after some of the sell-off. But then when that news came out, we did see a little bit more of a volatile move there. I should be reading this from my newsroom. If you haven't been to my newsroom yet, it's quite great. It's been quite great. I'm out here in New York City, top of a skyscraper. It's dark outside. Ignore that, even though it's morning time. Still being affected by that eclipse. That's how we roll here. Okay, so get over here. America's. As it stands for the day for the S&P 500, right? We gapped, we crapped, gap and trapped, back below the 5-day moving average, and we're trading roughly right around the. Why is that not working? Roughly right around the daily expected move. So really, I mean, we're down 0.5%. We're just seeing some intraday volatility. What's this being driven by? It could be just literally just order flow. The market net flow. This white line. If you're new and you don't know what this is, I'll walk through it again because it's an incredible tool to help us see potential turning points in the market or trends in the market. And you'll notice that it's been pretty decent for the majority of the day. Okay, right? The green line's been above the red line. Ignore the white line. Green line's been above the red line. We've had convergence. Market just really chopping around.
To 5.7 million from 7.1 million a year ago off of Romeo Tango Whiskey.
Yeah, Trader Joe, I'm still using my Mac or a Mac.
It's a profit of 7 cents year over year.
I didn't switch to PC because I just didn't want to figure it out, and I just wanted an easy switch over. They have that like migration thing that's just like super simple, so I just said, I'll just do a Mac. It's a studio computer or whatever it is.
Visited several of their facilities this morning that they're cooperating with authorities out the Kilo Echo in France.
Okay. Where was I? Market net flow. You can see right at about this point, the green line started crossing under the red line. Okay. This is where you want to be more cautious because this is more bearish territory. And we also lit up with a red convergence. And this right here is telling us that, hey, if you're trying to buy the dip or fight dealer flow, you can get torn to shreds here. And this was a pretty substantial move on the SPY. You can see that white line going down. And now it's starting to wane a little bit, but there's still a bearish divergence and the market's starting to bounce here a little bit, which reminds me I'm actually in a position that I got to get out of. And I'm out. Okay. I was trading some of this intraday volatility. Wild, man, wild. Got caught up a little bit, but ended up pulling through. Okay, so market net flow is still bearish. The SPY, it's doodling right around its daily expected move. You can see it broke through it and came back in. And we have not even yet tagged a weekly expected move yet. Okay, so the lower weekly expected move is 509.53. The upper weekly expected move is 527.23. Now, take a look here. This is where it gets interesting, right? What do we talk about as far as the negative gamma territory goes? Where do you want to be? What level do you want to be at to be more bullish? That level is right here, 52.50. If we're below negative the gamma flip line and we're below 52.50, it's going to be hard for the market to really stand bullish. If I go back to the left of the screen, you will see 5250, right? That's that magnet point that we've been talking about for multiple live streams and stock market brief, where we keep breaking from it. We pull back into it, we break from it. And you can see when we're in negative gamma territory, this is where dealers sell into selling, they can buy into buying. So you can get explosive moves down, explosive moves right back up. Okay? So being back above 5250 would be a lot better. And not only that, being back below a 5-day moving average that's rising. Currently it was declining. We got above it. What does that mean? It means you're bullish, but with caution. Why the caution? Because the short-term trend is down still. This could change quick. It can change quick like it just did. It came up here and then we changed quick. This is all happening going into the core CPI, CPI reports going into tomorrow, and then we have PPI to the next day. And the market is still saying that we're looking at less rate cuts. Well, actually now it's back to June. June is 1, 2, so now it's back to 3, right? So it's changing a little bit here. It was 2 just yesterday. We'll see what happens after the CPI report comes. I don't know what that is. Okay, so when we're in negative gamma territory and when we're below a 5-day moving average, this isn't where I like to really add exposure to my personal portfolio for swing trading, because you get a lot more fake outs. The market did start off pretty well today, but clearly it reversed on its face. So we got to be a little bit more careful here. Selling so far has subsided a little bit. We'll pull up, let me pull up my Thinkorswim platform. Good morning, Andre. Morning, AA.
We're inside 15 minutes now to the European cash equity close. DAX still leading the way lower there, down 1 1/3%.
Is the Twitch stream all blurry? I think I'm going to stop streaming on X and just go to YouTube and Twitch. Okay, it looks good to you. All right, on my end, it's all weird. I've been having some weird problems with this stream again. But my computer's running a lot faster. So I think it could now just be an internet connection for me or something. Or this software, this Streamlabs software has been giving me some probs. Okay, so volatility subsided a little bit. We're seeing a little bit more of a bounce here. I'm trying to open up my Thinkorswim platform to get a little decent peek here at the markets. What was really driving early trading session? Sell side. Look at Nvidia. I'm going to actually draw this out now because this is now changing. Oops. Take a look here. So I've been waiting for this trend break, and it looks like we're just recently getting this trend break, but we've been having a series of lower highs. This is intraday on a 1-minute time frame. We get this flush, we bounce, we get this flush again, and now we're actually starting to break the trend. Okay, so this could be, this could really sustain the market. It could level it out. Nvidia is really what's been dragging the market down. At a point, Nvidia was the only one of the top 5, top 7 names that were down, and then all of a sudden Meta got clipped there shortly thereafter and started kind of going down with Nvidia. And this just recently broke this down sloping trend here too, and that could be a decent sign. Nvidia is down about 3% on the day, and being that we've got a pretty extensive move to the downside, and this, by the way, this trend break is actually happening on some decent volume there. We were also in pretty oversold conditions. So to see a strong move down, you can see snapbacks. That makes sense, right? S&P 500, if we look at ES, we're still below the daily volume weighted average price. It looks like we had some sustainable bids kind of come in here, some liquidity, 5207, 5210. So the next area of resistance, I'd say, would be more up towards the daily VWAP. Checking to see if there's anything else that kind of comes in here into focus. Yep, as the market was moving down, we also had this liquidity enter in at 5175. Oh, toast too? Oh man. The best. Got some coffee delivered and some toast. Toast with some honey. Some local honey. Love it. Coffee. I needed coffee. Coffee. All right. So who traded that? Who got clipped? Who got what? AA. It's Moonraker. Look for Moonraker. He's the volatility. He'll put the sustaining bid into the market. Okay. So yeah, not really. I wouldn't consider that much of a news-driven event, but this is what we're talking about as far as volatility goes. You got to be a little bit more cautious and careful here, where you get a lot more fake outs. And this is kind of why I've been moving into more of a day trading kind of style. Oh yeah, that's good. We'll pull up some of these tickers here that people are talking about. Bring up my notepad. Kind of revisit some of these things.
Follow-up press report here that China's Chery is nearing a deal to start manufacturing cars in Barcelona. Spanish industry ministry saying that they are confident an agreement will be reached with Chery in the coming days.
Tesla getting some follow through there. Apple's still positive on the day, but what a reversal in Apple. Apple's still under 170. If you're thinking Apple's going to get bid, look at what it's been doing for the last couple of days. It hasn't gone anywhere. Holy moly. Microsoft's down on the day. Got clipped here too as well. One of the names that I liked was VKTX, I think it was. VKTX. But we never hit the high, so let me go back to it. Yeah, so unfortunately, never hit the prior high here for an entry, and we crossed the low. So now it's more about just being patient and seeing if we can reset up. You can see that it contracted. I was looking for the break of this high, it did not come. But I still like that. But I think the pattern is still legit. I think it's still consolidating, contracting here. So a break of this prior high, or even the opening price may produce still a bounce there. But as it stands right now, if you enter, you can get lucky by, right around the 20-day, but I prefer to see some strength before just kind of blindly entering in. Okay. Yeah, seeing Apple like this, huh? It's very weird. It's not normal here. We did go over a lot of these names in the second part of yesterday's market brief. We're seeing some of this stuff expand, like TSM. XBI was one that was kind of on my radar, thinking that some biotechs can get picked up. It's still below, the trend line, but it's moving out of this inside trading day, which is a positive sign. So maybe biotech can get a little move here. I liked net. It's flagging. You can see a series of lower highs here, but price action from a very bullish earnings move is contracting. It's getting tighter here. So watching for the breakout there. It almost looked like it was going for it earlier in the earlier trading session, but it's just kind of consolidated and it's kind of getting clipped from today's price action. You can see when volatility entered the chat here. Looks like the market's calming down slightly. So we'll pull up some of these names, and then if I see any opportunities for scalps, it could be coming up here. You can see how this is waning, right? Convergence is kind of waning off here, and we're negative divergence. So if this turns to gray, you can get contra moves in the market. So that might bring price up a little bit further in the SPY, and it could tell us that like this is an X door. Twitch keeps kicking you out. I've been having some weird Twitch issues. Remember, yeah, we have all these reports coming out tomorrow and the next day. Today, we don't really got much going on. We have a couple auctions and then no Fed speak from my understanding. Let me think here. Tuesday, we had Red Book. The 42-day bill auction, 3-year note auction, maybe bring volatility into the market. Oh, Darth Buddha, yeah, Streamlabs. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Right now, we're floating roughly right at the pretty much spot on to the daily expected move. Remember, the higher probability is that we close within the expected move, right? That's technically the higher probability, meaning that 68% of the time, if you think of it in terms of a distribution curve, 1 standard deviation, we probably dang near hit almost a 2 standard deviation move there. Let me see here what the 2 standard deviation move is for the day. 513.68. No, not quite. Not too far off, though. Not too far off, though. Guten Tag. Yeah, we'll take a look at some of this. I want to see if the 10-year is actually loading now on my computer. TNX was not working the other day. Still not loading on Thinkorswim. You can look up like ZN. So this is the 10-year U.S. Treasury note. So for example, if I pull up TLT, it'll look similar, right? So if TLT is bouncing today, this is interesting to me. So take a look here. Bonds are moving up, right? These could resemble kind of flight to safeties. Let's take a look at the dollar, though. Dollar was coming off pretty hard in the earlier session, and since then has recovered. It's bounced. So if I go intraday on the dollar, while we had that volatility enter the chat, look at the dollar. The dollar spiked up. Okay, so we have... that's not a small spike, too. You can see the little inverse head and shoulders. Ooh, and then boom, it blasts off, okay? So we have a rush to dollars. Let me see what bonds look like intraday. Bonds intraday. Saw a pretty nice big move into bonds, kind of steady. Just looking at TLT for the proxy there. Gold hitting new all-time highs today. And then look at this. This came off. So new all-time high today in gold, with this trade has just not been able to slow down. But just recently we got clipped with volatility there too as well. And the reason why I'd say is because the big move in the dollar, right? If we look at this and we go from 734 and then we look at the dollar and you go to 734 right here, this spiked up, so drove down gold there. Some of these, look at copper. Okay, copper got hit. So I'd be very careful with these commodity trades if the dollar is going to start moving. If the dollar is going to start bouncing higher, or how it perceives the CPI report, this could mark a turning point or a period of consolidation for some of these commodities: copper, gold, silver, potentially even oil. And if the dollar starts moving higher at a rapid clip, you can get pressure into the equity markets too. The correlation's kind of been breaking down a little bit, but yeah, oil is just trading inside the prior day. Wow, take a look at the chat, see here. There is typically a negative correlation, Eric, with the dollar and the S&P 500, but the correlations always change. So you can look at like 15-day, 30-day, 90-day, 180-day correlations to get longer-term views of how it responds with the market, and you can visualize and see those changes throughout time. Because sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. Majority of the time, it stays within its negative correlation, but you have periods where it's positively correlated. And that's just telling you that market conditions they're changing. It's just data, right? It's like the 10-year yield, right? So if I go over to here and I go into, for some reason, I don't know why the 10-year yield is not pulling up on my platforms. Correlations, S&P 500 to the 10-year yield. I'm sorry, long-term treasury yields. I don't know which one exactly. It's looking at the longer term ones, but I'm looking at 10-day and 30-day, and look at the 30-day, the darker blue line. All right, that one's here in negative territory the majority of the time. Negative territory is below the zero line, by the way. That's the zero line. And then you can see the 10-day, it's positively correlated, and the 30-day is positively correlated here. So a rise in yields
Remind you, we're about
in this
90
current
minutes,
moment
90 minutes
hasn't been
to the
affecting the market,
note
which
auction.
we
We'll
know.
also see the results of the 6-week bill auction here momentarily.
Uh, 10Y1, 10Y1, can that pull it up? Yeah. I think I actually have that in a 10Y1. Here on Thinkorswim. You know what? I know it's another code here on Thinkorswim that I can pull up the 10-year. I don't have it in front of me, though. It's on my laptop. Trader Joe was looking at D-Dog, Datadog. Yeah, I like this one, too. Wow, yeah, nice. I can see what you're saying. It's pretty clean look. Contracting, got tight here, and now it's trying to move up. Today we saw a nice little pop, but it's reversed on itself. So yeah, it would be nicer to, you know, reclaim some of these levels, but just hasn't had its move, man.
The European bourse
Hasn't had its move.
for the day. German DAX down 1.3%, the FTSE down 0.2%, the CAC down 0.9.
Asking about shop. Interesting to see that, like, so this name, like, it's been, what's it been doing all year versus the market, right? This has been going sideways all year. But you look at it and it's like, okay, well, something looks like it's about to go. Look how tight it's getting. All right, so yeah, if you play the, like, today's an inside trading candle. So if I break the high of this, the high of today, before it breaks the low of this swing low, maybe that creates a little pop up here back to the 2050, offering up a good risk to reward, or potentially even higher than that. I do find it interesting that some of these names just haven't moved at all, and the market's been kind of a one-way ticket. 10Y for futures. Let me see. Oops. Ah, cool. Thank you. Oh, that's micro. That's still fine. That's fine. Yeah, cool. So there it is. So I can start pulling that one up. So the 10-year yield's backing off a little bit. Still, I mean, just yesterday, we hit new highs in the 10-year, and then also the 2-year too. New highs, not all-time highs, but for 2024 new highs. Take a look at Zim. Zim is, yeah, like a shipping, right? When I look at these names, like the first thing I always do is I look at the trend, right? So it's clearly the downtrend. You can just look at the moving averages, right? 40-week, 10-week. They're down. It's starting to kind of get, you know, kind of flatten out here from a weekly perspective. So you'd want to see these kind of levels right here reclaimed, and these to start turning back up, obviously. Would be a lot more positive. Right now, you know, it's pretty significant selling. Like this day right, or this week right here was a pretty heavy distribution day on some big volume. This week right here was on some big volume here too. And then the move up, you know, is on declining volume. And right now we just have an inside trading week. So if I zoom in here, you can see it's a declining 200-day, declining 50. It's pulling in a little bit, saw some strength, but overall it's putting in a lower high. So it'd be nice to see it put in a higher low and then take out this. And then you have at least an idea of a potential change in trend. ENA. What is ENA? It's not able to pull up, Heather. Yeah, some of these retail names have been getting clobbered. Nike, you're saying it's an interesting level. I was looking at this from the weekly perspective. Yeah, I can look at Tesla too. Nike had this big break of this trend here, and we're seeing it kind of pull in a little bit. I still think it could come up and back test potentially, and then see if it acts as resistance. But you can see here, I mean, the trend is still down here on these names. I mean, Nike, I don't think it's going anywhere, right? Nike's a big old company. And if you look here, it's also getting pretty tight as far as the sell-off goes. So to see it bounce back up to 95, yeah, sure. It's probably the same thing with, hey, Coco. Probably the same thing with Lulu, right? Lulu's, right? You can't, if you're trading this stuff to the long side, you got to be pretty aggressive, right, on bounces. But this thing has just been one-way ticket down, right, from here. And it's probably going to bounce at some point. Right? When, I don't really know, but it'll probably bounce. People will cover. You'll get the covering rally, and then it's going to probably put in a lower high. And then you need to wait to see if there's a higher low. So it's all about being patient in these areas. And if you're
open system strategy and announcing new customer wins for Intel.
It's all about being patient. Yeah, Foot Locker. Yeah, Foot Locker is also, yeah, all these retail names have been probably good shorts, but to catch it, it was probably a tough one. Like, see, so look at this.
A comprehensive AI strategy for enterprises.
It's a good example of what I mean, but what I've been saying.
Across all AI segments.
So see how we got the bounce here? And what I'm saying is you got to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe update your stop every day. Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
On average, better power efficiency than Nvidia's H100.
Intel news. We got that big bounce, but look at, see, it just produced a lower high, and then it reverted and sold off pretty aggressively, right? Just boom, boom.
What do you know about all the filters going on here, huh?
What is Bitcoin doing actually here? Bitcoin reversed its move yesterday. It's just trading inside the prior day's candle. It didn't reverse the entire move, pulling back in. Do you know whether miners would need to go bust during the halving periods, whether or not Bitcoin goes? I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself an expert within the crypto industry at all. Not even near. I'm more of just the technical analyst in intermarket analysis.
Intel, their press release also saying that they've also announced collaborations with Google Cloud, Fails, and Cohesity to leverage Intel's confidential computing capabilities in their cloud instances.
Yeah. So this news on Intel is bringing a lot of volatility. That's what we're hearing about right now. That's where all the news is coming from. You see all this volume coming in? There's the Intel news. From the February low, the anchor VWAP from the February low. Isn't that funny how that works? You get news right then and there. Right now we're trading at the daily expected move. I'm going to pull up daily of Intel. Wait, what am I getting? What am I missing here? Oh, 2023. I'm like, wait a second here. What am I missing here? Yeah, February is right here, right? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, perfect.
The Steel Market World Steel Association forecasting that
you could technically do a handoff right here.
7% rebound to reach
So if I did a handoff,
93 million tons.
okay, come on.
Steel demand forecast
gosh.
expected to grow by 1.2% in 2025.
I actually pulled that gap down, pulled right into it. That's pretty crazy. And then just chopped around. Gosh, yeah, look at the selling here. So these type of things, these type of moves, they do produce bounces, and then yeah, it came right into that February low anchor view up. Good look there. We'll see what happens with the news. CVNA for a swing long. Carvana actually was looking like it was setting up for a potential move. Right, this bullish move right here. It's a little choppy, but you can see that, you know, it is kind of flagging, consolidating here. You have a strong move. It's getting pretty tight here. So yeah, maybe a break of this. Maybe we get another little squeeze up. I can see that. I'm not getting too aggressive here from the long perspective. I want to see what this data brings out. It's and go from there. As far as this S&P 500 being in negative gamma territory, being below that 5-day moving average, like, this is what happens, right? We literally talk about this pretty much every single market brief. This is where volatility comes in. This is where you got to be more careful, be more cautious. And, you know, and then you shouldn't be shocked when you see these like
stop
crazy moves.
China and Iran from helping Russia.
Right now, we're just really consolidating the little hit that we took. Well, let's revisit Nvidia, see what that's doing since that trend break. Came back to back test it. Sort of. Still broke it, and it's kind of leveled out the market here. Live LYV. Let's take a look. I think this was actually on my tight list. It could have been on my tight list. It might be on my tight list. Yeah, it looks like it's getting ready for a move, right? Look how tight the price action's getting these last 3 or 4 days, right? We had this big range candle over here that was pretty much with the market, and now it's getting very, very tight. So I'd respect it if it breaks down. Respect that. But if you're swinging long right now, I mean, I like to wait for the strength to come in, and it's just not there. It just keeps on kind of like pressing with these lower highs the last, 1, 2, 3, 4 days so far. We are seeing, and then we even made a new low today from the prior day, new lower low. But it's getting very tight. So it looks like we'll probably have some sort of move, little shakeout, but it's in a bullish trend. So that's nice. Below a 5-day moving average. Yeah, I'm just hesitant on all of this stuff right now. Damien's asking about a dive information on the 30-minute time frame for S&P 500. I mean, I get what you're saying. You're probably talking about this right here, right? The majority of this.
Airbus reporting their March gross orders at 137.
I'll pull up the SPY actually.
At 63 for Airbus.
I'll pull it up like this. I think that most of this chop, though, I think it is in a way consolidating, but I would look at the S&P 500 really just through the lens of this gamma right here. And the levels that are most interested to me is being in negative gamma territory and that 5250. Until those change, those are the key levels right now. You want to be above 5250. And I'm not just saying that because there are lines on my screen. I'm talking about
US and UK.
I'm talking about it because this is just how the gamma is set up. All right, this is 5250. This is the call wall of 5300. If you want to get to 5300, you need to be above 5250. And then you want to see people start reaching out further. But when you look to the downside, there's really nothing much going on. Now we have 5200 that lit up today. Okay, but go figure, right? We're under 5,200 now. So this is, it's just not a great structure there. And then 5,000 is the call wall, or the put wall. All right, so S&P 500 is moving up a little bit here. Take a look at market net flow, see if anything's changed. So take a look. We lost that convergence right here on a bearish divergence, which means we can have contra moves. So this is where the market can kind of settle itself out. Okay. And you could potentially get, you know, a move up. That's kind of what we're seeing right now. So if I pull up, I want to pull up Nvidia and see how that's holding up, and Meta too, because these ones have been a little bit of a grab on the market today. You can see once we broke that downtrend of the series of lower highs, what did you see here? We see a higher low. So are we going to break here and actually get our first higher high, which could identify a change in trend? After we break this trend, perhaps we can start a new uptrend there, and then we can move up higher, right? It at least opens the door to move higher. I would prefer to have more of an edge, meaning that, you know, this would be green and the green line would be above it. But regardless of that, you're looking at a huge market player, Nvidia, right? The trend is potentially changing right here, right now, right on the trend break. And then we also have no convergence for the bears, which means that the bulls have a potential to start working back some of those losses intraday, right? And we're down -3.7. Remember, the higher probability is coming back within the daily expected move. Where are we? We're now back within that daily expected move.
CMCSA
Okay. Bouncing a little bit.
Management indicating that NBC Universal's ad spending from top Olympic sponsors is up 18% versus the Tokyo Games.
Anybody been trading this intraday today?
Goes on to say that NBC has indicated they've sold $1.2 billion in advertising.
Dude, Coco, chill. What the hell? Come here. Come say hi. Coco wants to say hi. Coco was responsible for hitting the sell button today. What is this? A little sticker. All right. Anybody been trading this? Scalp some SPY calls when it was bleeding. Nice. Scalping. So I've been saying that I go into more day trading style when we're in below a 5-day moving average, we're in negative gamma territory, because you get much more crazier swings. And I've always liked, I'm not trying to use my personal portfolio. So I went back into some of these prop firms, and I'm looking, I don't really like the off ones where it's like, I never heard of it before. So I don't really mess with those, because some of them just like went bust again. But the ones that are like a little bit more well-known, that have proof of payouts, that are probably still dangerous. I like Top Step, right? Seems pretty legit. And then Apex Trader seems pretty big, and it's like quite popular, and there's a history of payouts. But I don't like the intraday trailing drawdown. But what I do like is that you can just pass it in one day. So you can like just the thing is, when you have a 1-day pass rate, you don't really need to try to like be perfect, right? You just port it. You just go, hey, I'm just trying to pass this to get a funded account. So in the last 2 or 3 days, I'm like, I'm not gonna pay much attention to these positions. I'm just gonna hit them and try to get like a 30%, 40% pass rate, because they're like $37, which I lose way more than $37 if I go bust on one of my personal trades. So I just did that, and I got 9 funded accounts in the last 3 days. 9 funded accounts, and now I have to be a little bit more careful because I pay the fees for activation. And so now I'm not trading like full contract. Now I'm trading micros, like 2 contracts, right? But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9. And then I have some more because you can trade up to 20 accounts. I'm like, hey man, if I can get up to 20 accounts here, I'll just link them all and I'll trade 1 or 2 contracts and just go like that for the day trading aspect of things. Pretty simple. It's not simple, but the intraday trailing drawdown is pretty lame, to be quite honest. But it's at least fair for the most part, as long as you're aware of how that actually works within trading and how you can use it to an advantage by like trying to pass these evals or whatever. And like, for example, like I can't even remember now, Top Step though, the intraday drawdown is pretty small, and then you have to pass it within like up to 2 days, which is still not bad. Oh my God, Coco. Who with 9 accounts? With Apex with 9 accounts. I'm just taking advantage. Like, dude, they're $37. It's like, I know that's different for a lot of people, but when like the way that I'm looking at it is like, okay, like if I lost 4 in a row, because I'm not spending much time trying to pass these. I'm full porting it, and if I can pass because I don't want to waste time. But I'm looking at 30, 30, 30, 30, right? It's like, that's less than one of my trades on my regular accounts. So I'm like, okay, I'll just get a funded account in a day. If I give me a 20% pass rate, 30% pass rate, 40%, whatever the case is, and I'll just pass a bunch of them, you know, and I'll just pay the fees, and then I'll take it seriously when I have a funded account. I'm not going to take it too seriously, at least with these trailing drawdowns. I can't take trading seriously with a trailing drawdown anyway. Like, I can't trade my normal way with a trailing drawdown. I do not like it. It's like, this is what a trailing drawdown means. It means that if I take a position and it goes from flat to up 500 and it comes down to flat, I would be flat. But in the eyes of the trailing drawdown, I would actually be down 500, right? If I go up, if the goal is to get to 3,000, I go up to 2,500 and it comes back down to 2,500 or back down to neutral, I would only have $500 of wiggle room before you fail that, whatever. So it's not for me. I don't like trailing drawdowns, but I looked at the numbers and the math and I was like, man, I could do this if I just get a 20% pass rate and I just go. I'm like, it's not going to be really hard to make all that money back plus some. It really won't. As long as I take it more seriously with the funded accounts, which I've been doing. The funded accounts, I don't know. They haven't updated yet, but like today, I'm in a position right now. Hey, good thing I looked. I'm gonna stay in it. I'll stay in it. Whatever. I don't know. How do I check what I got today? Yeah, so today, this is actually real funds. I'm actually in a trade. I only traded micros. Here, I'll open it up. There you go. Boop. Kind of hard to see probably. 430. Across 9 accounts. Which my goal, just so you know, I'm not going for 4. I just happen to get a lot of volatility here. My goal is actually literally like 50 to 60 bucks a day, playing one contract, one micro, two micros. And that's going to take me a long time to get the payout, right? You have to trade for 10 days. And then on top of that, you need to hit like 2,600 to be able to get a payout. So it's going to take a while, but if you do that across 20 accounts, I mean, 50, 60 bucks a day across 20 accounts is quite a bit of money. And it helps negate that whole trailing drawdown. Makes it a little bit hard to fail the trailing drawdown perspective. I don't know. These prop firms, it's interesting. I reached out to the Wall Street Journal about these prop firms that have been failing, and I think it's actually a really good idea to start building out an article. And they said they're going to want to reach out to me to get a little bit more info on it. But we had a couple of prop firms that just went under. A little crazy too. I've just recently noticed they shut my accounts off, and then they just randomly said, "Hey, you need you verify your ID. But we're talking like I've had these accounts for a while. Not these ones specifically, but I've had Apex for a while. And then all of a sudden I get more funded accounts. They're like, they terminate. They literally, everything disappeared off my screen and they went blank, and then I had to submit a ticket. A little strange, but apparently it's normal, I guess. I don't know. And then I got my accounts back. Very weird. Oh yeah, and yeah, this is trading futures, by the way. These things are futures, and it's day trading, right? It's not swing trading. At least this one. There might be some that I trade futures, but I don't trade futures with my own money. Yeah, we can do tickers today. What tickers do you want me to pull up? Yeah, I was just talking about Diane. I was just talking about some of my how I've been approaching the markets, just day trading. The firm that I'm at right now is Top Step. I'm sorry, Top Step and Apex. Those are the only ones that I have familiarity with.
Their Israeli colleagues again to discuss Gaza in the next week.
Okay, I'm gonna revisit here. I just want to see what's going on with market net flow. Still no convergence. The green line's picking up here. The market is then bouncing, right? Look at some of these gamma levels. We're coming back into around 5,200. We can potentially get a little stuck up at 5,200. Okay, but we're pulling back into that. It looked like a level of resistance or level of support. Once support was broken, it can potentially become resistance. Okay, so we're trying to reclaim, trying to bounce back some of these intraday, sell button volatility stuff here. Okay, which was given right at about here before the big sell-off, and then now over here where it turned gray, where you can get these contra moves. Okay, so that's what we're seeing, a little bit of a bounce back. Overall, just sideways price action, down slightly on the day going into the CPI report. We'll pull up some tickers. Let's do it. Dijen wants to look at NOC. Let's pull it up. You can see Nvidia is still moving here. We did break that high, so we have a higher low and a higher high. Okay. So that's a positive sign for the market, given the context of the amount of volatility that Nvidia has from a market cap perspective, from an implied volatility perspective. That's a positive sign. Doesn't mean things can't change, but that's a positive sign. All right, we'll look up NOC. Yeah. Man, this thing took a turn, didn't it? So nice breakout, right? So knock. Let me see here. You see that trend, like it actually ended up breaking this trend, but this is a pretty steep decline here. We have earnings around the corner. That's kind of annoying. So, I mean, when I look at this, I look to the left of the screen. I don't really see a trend here. So if there's no trend, we can come right back up. If there's no trend, we can hold under these and continue to break, right? We broke this. So even if it comes back up here, I'd still be watching for, these trends held. And then when it broke, it could become prior resistance. But one thing that I'm noticing here is you have this low. This is, I would consider a low. This low is broken. If there's more of a consolidation, but if this holds, that would be a higher low. So if we bounce up and come back down, that would be a lower high right there. A series of lower highs continue, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Yeah, this is a tough one. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. The coming out of the consolidation is good, but then look how it comes into the prior supply over here.
Fire one of their hydroelectric power.
This is why you got to just really be like, so during this consolidation, it could have had a stop here, or the stop would have been here, and you would have got stopped out, and then we see if it could reset back up and bounce. Right now, it looks like it could potentially, it looks like it can bounce, but then again, we have CPI and earnings around the corner, so it's kind of like, hey, we can wake up tomorrow and this could be great. We can wake up tomorrow and it could be bad. And that goes for a lot of these stocks across the board. SMCI. Yeah, SMCI. I mean, these things came far and fast, people. They came far and fast. And I want to show you this. So you see this day right here? Right? Where everyone caught the top of SMCI so perfectly and showed us their gains. These type of moves, big gap ups and close at a low with huge volume.
24 weeks. Alpha Tango Oscar Sierra.
They can mark periods of consolidation, digestion, and it could happen for months. These big blow off tops after strong moves, you get these moves with huge volume. And then look at, the market came down, it consolidated, it moved back up, right? It came back down. And where is it? It's literally right here still. And then it contracted here and it's kind of breaking through this trend in an overall uptrend, shorter term downtrend. But, I show this because look, we talked about the same thing with Nvidia. What does Nvidia do? Big old blow off move here, close at the low of the day. The volume was the sign saying, hey, this is where we can go start to digest. It doesn't mean that we can't go to 1,000 or higher, but you can see SMCI, it went up higher and then came back in too.
Adobe introducing next generation Frame.ai to accelerate content, workflow, and collaboration for every creative project. Alpha Delta Bravo Echo.
Adobe's been moving. Adobe's in a tiny little flag here.
Focus Therapeutics presenting data of elimination of MHC class 1 negative tumors in vivo models.
What
Charlie
stock?
Michael Pop X-ray.
Charlie Michael Pop X-ray.
RAPT announcing promising results from a phase 2 trial. Romeo Alpha Papa
These biotechs,
Tango.
man, they move. I'm not interested. I was interested in VKTX, or was it VKTX? I always get the letters confused. I'll pull up Tesla here in a second, by the way. Yeah, VKTX, I was interested in this one, but we broke the low over here. So before breaking the high, I wanted to break the high before breaking the low. So still on watch, but I'll keep an eye on it. Tesla.
Secretary of State Blinken saying that he expects Israel will not act on Rafah before the next round of talks next week.
Chocolate curry, I'll pull that back up.
Medicina presenting updated.
Arcadia is asking about where you can learn more about market net flow. If you are an intraday trader, I would suggest that would be a big important thing, but you can watch these streams. I talk about them every stream. Potentially just the TradeTix website has some idea of it too. I do it while it's live, right? I do it while it's live, which I think is a little bit more beneficial than, I think it's an important aspect of it by watching it live because you can see kind of what the thoughts are during when it is happening, right? So you get to see live when it's changing, kind of what's going through the thoughts and so forth. But market net flow, it's from TradeTix. You can probably see some stuff there.
Blinken saying we have an offer for Hamas and it's a very serious offer and should be accepted.
Sounds like we're getting some geopolitical kind of news stuff coming out here. I don't know to the extent of it's that important yet. But the price action is kind of just getting a little chopped up here on the news. Oh yeah, I'm in my Cybertruck. Tesla. Yeah, so people are still really interested in Tesla, but really Tesla hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, other than down. And we got a little excited bounce over here, and it came back down, and then we bounced again on some robo news. And what did Elon said something about like on the what date? Like there's some news coming out. Be prepared for something about a robo taxi news. I don't know, man. I don't know. News speculation is like just not my forte. I'll look at the setup and I'll look at it from a risk to reward standpoint. Earnings is around the corner. I think that Tesla stock has gotten beaten up, but it's also, if it comes down right here, it's literally just another lower high. Look at like high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So, and then I don't know. Is that a lower low or is that a higher low? I mean, it's 160.51, 164.90. So that's a lower low, right? Hardly. Could potentially even call that a double bottom. A possibility of a double bottom if it breaks this. If it breaks that, the measured move would be from this low to this high, and you'd measure it up like that, and it would target 205. And that would be like a 1-for-1 risk to reward. 1-1. Okay, that's what that would read. It's still in a downtrend though.
The Energy Information Agency, the EIA, they're cutting their
August
forecast for
8th. Oh, that's a while
2025
away.
world oil
Okay.
demand by 30,000 barrels
That's a while
per day.
away.
They now see a 1.35 million barrel per day increase.
Yeah, the robo-taxi thing, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't pretend to know. I don't know. It seems like almost every single time, though, there's always some sort of news trying to do some sort of exciting thing, and then it produces a lower high. Eventually, that'll change. When do I think it'll change? I mean, look at the weekly chart for Tesla. Look back to the left of the screen. Where's it gone? Nowhere. 4 years. It's 2024, people. 2019. We're at levels where we were in 2019. Okay? The big trend line here on Tesla is these lower highs, these explosive moves into these lower highs. Explosive. These are weekly candles. So if we get another explosive move, I know everyone's gonna be like, it's here. But even up to 225 from where we are, wherever this trend line is, where price is at that time, I would still say, okay, let's see if it tightens up, consolidates, and then breaks out. Because then it's like, it could be smooth sailing for the most part. You have some overhead supply, but it'd be longer away, and you're breaking from these bigger trends. I mean, look at that trend line and look at silver, right? Look at silver's trend line. You see what I'm saying here?
Person saying the dam basin of the power plant has not been damaged by the fire.
You see that? Well, lower high, a little choppier given a commodity, but you understand my point. How price got up, tightened up, and then we broke out through here. Now, I'd still be, in the daily time frame, I look for consolidations. I don't chase into stuff like this after a move like that, right? I just don't do that. Now look at it reverse on itself today. But overall, when you look at the weekly time frame, it's like, wow, this could be the start of something potentially big. Oh, hey, I'm still in my Cybertruck. I want to hop in my rocket, people. I do. I want to hop in my rocket and get this thing going. Oh, I still have a position on. I got to keep an eye on that. Market hasn't gone anywhere. Don't matter. Let's look at market net flow. I don't know. No edge. I could probably just get out of the position. We're coming up to that 5,200 where it kind of backed off a little bit there. Drop tickers in the chat if you want me to pull up some individual names. Let me bring up my Twitch chat here. P-Gen is one that you watch. Oh, Sailor to Shift tool, right. So you had mentioned the Chocolate Curry wanted me to cover the Sailor to Shift tool, where we stand, how it has to play out. We're on a sell signal. There's two parts to it. Signal, trigger. The signal gives us the warning sign. Give me a second here. I think I'm gonna exit out of this position. I'm gonna just take my I'm gonna take my $14 gain. Should I just leave it on? What do you guys say? Should I leave it on or no? It's 1 micro. It's 1 micro that I left on accident. Pretty much on accident. Call it right now. Let me know. All right, we got Sound, WBA, Ford, Amazon Elf to go over. Type 1 in the chat if I should hold on to my 1 micro. Dump it. No. Okay, everyone's saying dump it. All right, I'll dump it. Let me see. Are you sure? Dumping in 3, 2. All right, I dumped it for a $15 gain, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! $15 gain across 9 accounts. Let's go. No, $15 times 9. Let's get it. Market's gonna rip now. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, people. All right. Oh, A said 2. Should have kept it. Okay. All right, let's go over some of these names. I'm getting a lot of names in the chat. See you, Chris O'Hare. Let's do this. We're going to pull up some of these individual names that are being brought up.
The FAA is probing claims about
Got a lot of good ones here
Boeing
coming up.
787 Dreamliner.
So day...
Boeing shares
Okay,
moving to
WBA.
second
We'll
lows
go.
on this New York Times report on the 787 Dreamliner.
WBA. We're going to try to move through these quick because there's quite a bit of them, actually. You guys dropped in a lot of good names. So,
Spirit Aerosystems also taking a little move lower on these latest headlines. on Boeing.
dude, you guys, now it's going higher. I can't believe I just sold it. I should have never listened. I'd be up over $30. That was pretty funny. Okay, but I got to go over these names. Focused. Okay. WBA. I'm going to look at the daily. Yeah, I mean, I'm imagining that you're thinking this from a long perspective, like how much more worse can it get? I mean, we keep on producing lower highs. We're in a negative trend. Huge move here, down on earnings. Now it's kind of consolidating sideways. I think Walgreens kind of matches with the whole CVS aspect, right? It got clipped here too, as well, consolidating sideways. I'm not a big fan of the look of these charts. Doesn't mean that we can't bounce to produce a higher low, but it's not something that I'd establish a new position in because I prefer to have the trend to my side, right? If you think you caught if you thought you caught the bottom here and you said it and you forgot and you caught it and you're like, yeah, see, I'm up $5 per share or whatever, and then all of a sudden you look now and you're like, oh dang, now I'm down. So it could be just flagging, could bounce right back up to 20, potentially play a shorter term trade, but it's just not my type of not my cup of tea right now. Let's look at Sound, SOUN. This one's been popular name here. I mean, price action is getting a little bit tighter here as it's pulling into the 50-day. It's so volatile, right? So it could be wedging here. Watch this trend for a potential break. Not really my personal cup of tea. These smaller price names, they can get very fast and move very quickly, but they can go in both directions. So notice how you see some big range candles. Chances are we see volume drying up, price action, the range of these candles are getting smaller and smaller, including today being an inside trading day. We haven't actually seen an inside trading day right here, and then we saw an expansionary candle. Other than that, we haven't really seen much inside trading days. Like right here was an inside trading day. Boom, we exploded out through it. This was an inside trading day. We exploded out from it, right? So when you see these inside trading days, it could tell us that volatility could enter the chat, and that could be positive or negative. How do you play it? I typically wait for the high to be broken of that day, of the inside trading day. Then I have a tight stop, and I see if it can pop up. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, cool, it is what it is. But right now, it is getting a little bit tighter here. So I'd expect to see a large range candle in the near future with Sound. So manage that risk tightly, because it can get crazy. Let's take a look at Ford. Wait, Ford? F-O-R-D? Or like Ford's a downtrend. I don't like these type of moves. Or do you mean F, like Ford Motor Company? I'm gonna go with Ford Motor Company because I think that's probably what you mean. But you did use dot, so I don't know for sure. But Ford, yeah, I mean, Ford's holding up. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And now we're broken out, getting a little bit of, shakiness up in here. But it's in an uptrend. It's not too far off of all-time highs for the year. Look at the weekly time frame. I mean, I wouldn't establish a new position right here. But it could be something that sets up here soon. Could be something that sets up soon. Amazon I'm out of. Amazon I traded. I forget when I got out, a day ago or so. But Amazon broke out of this 180. It was chop, right? Chop, remember? We talked about the chop. Boom, came down, and now we're seeing a little bit move. I was saying that the breakout, typically from a measured move perspective, could be double the consolidation, which is about like 188, 190, and we're basically coming up into that area there. But it doesn't mean it can't go higher. Now, like, you know, I'm out, but now if it consolidates and pulls back and the 20-day comes up, or even if it goes like this, you know, and consolidates more, I can look for a re-entry. So Amazon looks strong. We hit a new high today. High, you know, if you thought this was the high, wrong. Thought this was the high, wrong. Thought this was the high, wrong. Thought this was the high, wrong, right? I like these site consolidations, by the way. So new high for Amazon today. Is that an all-time high? No, but honestly, look at where we're pulling into. We're pulling into all-time highs for Amazon. We're not even far off. So chances are the market wants to see that at some point. And there's nothing that says this trend says otherwise right now. Doesn't mean that we can't consolidate, but that's the read on that on Amazon. It looks good until it doesn't look good, right? Elf. These retail names went far and fast, and we're seeing some consolidation. All right, we're seeing some consolidation. I'm not like here even. I'm not going to jump into this kind of stuff after these big breaks. Right? This right here looked pretty nice. It looked like it was flagging out, got faked out. Is this a one-off? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Right? Elf is like a beauty company, right? It's not only Elf that got clipped. You look at them across the board. Ulta, right? It got clipped, and has it bounced back and recovered? No, it's been trading within that range. And typically when you get big breaks like this, you can get follow through to the downside. So I say proceed with caution with that stuff. So you get high-end beauty products like Ulta, a high-end, not really high-end retailer, but it's a big retailer, big box retailer. Elf sells products within Ulta and various pharmacy stuff like probably Walgreens, CVS. They're everywhere. Elf is everywhere. And then you look at something like Lulu. Lulu's higher-end retailer. And these ones are also getting clipped here. Yeah, we're probably going to see bounces. If you want to time that, okay, be tactical in your approach, have your risk leveled out, but just be aware that the trends are breaking. You're getting a lot of forceful price action. People to try to jump into. If you got really excited about it here, you know, you must be really excited about it here or scared crudless, because if you're still in that, that's a pretty big move from there to here. It's minus 8%. For me, that's a pretty large move. You know, and if I looked at that and I bought at that low and I'm still in it, I would not be happy with myself, especially if I took a full position, which I would never do on a move like that. I wouldn't do it. I would take a small position, be tactical, and if it broke, I'd get out. It is what, and I'd move on. I'd keep on looking, and it is what it is, okay? S&P 500, let's take a quick look here, and I'll pull up some more of these ones. Moved up a little bit higher. Came into that 5,200. I'm so happy that I sold my position, people. Dude, it's up literally. So I sold it at 260. It went up to 290. So I missed out on 30 points. I can't believe all of you. No, I really don't care. But that is pretty funny, isn't it? I had a good day today, so I cannot complain. I can't do it, but I'm going to. All right, let's look at some more of these individual names. How dare you, people? No, actually, some people are like, no, hold it. Other people are like, take it out, get it. Rightfully so. There's no edge. So that's the thing. Let that be a lesson. There was no edge in the market, so you're both right. Whether you said hold it or get it out of it, you were right. You know what I'm saying? You were right. Because if the market went down, you'd look like a hero. Hindsight trading, right? Okay, I'm gonna pull up some more of these names. Look, it looks like it's been getting set up again here, actually, to be honest. It looks like it's just flagging out, potentially striking that 5250. We may go for 5250 today. On ES. On ES. Spoosh. Okay. What's your favorite? My favorite go-to meal? Beef stick. My favorite go-to meal is just a beef stick. I don't really have a go-to meal. Okay, so we went through Elf. Good good choice. Okay. Eli Lilly. I mean, healthcare names, they've been looking really good all year, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback. So I'd say it's still worth noticing. I was in a healthcare position and got clipped out of it as well. But yeah, we're just kind of going sideways in Eli Lilly. It's in bullish context. Seeing a little bit of sell side today, down 2.53%, but nothing was substantially broken. So you can take speculative entries, and if it breaks down this low or this low, get out. Or you can just be patient and wait to see if things change. Because keep in mind, like, healthcare typically can outperform the S&P 500 if the S&P 500 sells off, like more defensive type style names like consumer staples, utilities, right? And healthcare, we typically see rotations into. But if it doesn't mean that it has to go up, it means it could go down less than the S&P 500 and still have relative outperformance. So I think it's just important to watch the key levels. But nice consolidation right there. GE. I'm not touching GE until we see some consolidations, but GE has been a powerhouse. Aerospace, like even the ERJ, like some of these aerospace names have been absolutely bonkers wild. Look at ERJ. We talked about ERJ right here. And then it broke out, and somebody was asking there in the live stream, do you think I should peel profits, do this, do that? I said, just manage risk, because it could very well just flag out. You can update your stop, take partial profits, and then look at it. If he held in, boom. Now it's doing it again. Now notice how it's taking a little bit more time, right? So these explosive moves from these big bases, you get an explosive move, then you get this short consolidation, you get the follow through, it gets a little bit bigger, and you could typically see 3, sometimes 4 of these bases. This could be considered one of them. And then you start getting a little bit looser consolidations, takes more time to digest, the move has been made, you know, but this move up, like, so this strong move, look at the volume. Then when we broke out of here, look at the volume. So this move was strong, and now it's consolidating, and look at the volume here, drying up again. So is it preparing for another move potentially here? But what it is doing, if it doesn't go, it's setting up a good risk to reward. That's ERG, and you asked about GE. GE is also kind of in this aerospace, but GE hasn't consolidated. They had some news out. Earnings is around the corner here too as well, to be fair. So just be aware of that. Right? If you think this is the high, chances are you're probably wrong. It'll probably break that high at some point. But does that mean right now is a great entry? In my personal opinion, I would prefer 7, 8, 10 days of consolidation and tightness before just kind of like entering in. Like, look at here. You see how we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of consolidation, and then on the 6th day, it was like this really tiny inside bar. Okay, and then boom, we saw this move out. Still saw volatility, but we followed through in a bullish trend there.
Fully competent in their 787 Dreamliner, and after a report of a whistleblower.
What is he talking about? Look at
investigation.
Is that Boeing?
Bravo Alpha.
Bravo Alpha. Bravo Alpha. That's Boeing. Okay, so we're getting Boeing news. Look at that. Boeing. Hey, so was that bad news right there? Let me see. Claims of a whistleblower about flaws.
Prime Minister Kishida saying that there will be more opportunities for Japan and the U.S. companies to cooperate in the next generation of chips.
Keynote, Intel, Nvidia. So okay. The thing that I've been waiting for Boeing is to see negative news, but for things to turn around. Oh, earnings is around the corner. But Boeing has just been, holy moly, look at Boeing.
Boeing statement saying claims about structural integrity of 787 are inaccurate and do not represent the comprehensive work Boeing has done to ensure quality and long-term safety of the aircraft.
Yeah, but can we believe what they say? You know, who knows? You know, you get negative news and you see for a big reversal day, like for example, like if I'm looking at this from a daily perspective and we see this turn green all of a sudden, like, or make a big hammer candle, like it looks like this, you know, that could mark a potential little turning point. But look at this, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 7 days down, just blood red. Okay. Look at it in that 15-minute time frame, below the 5-day moving average, obviously, and getting a little bit of an expansionary move to the downside here in RSI is definitely clearly an oversold condition. So probably see a bounce here, probably in the near future with Boeing. But man, oh man. Man, oh man, they can't let up. Look at JBlue. I want to see where that's at right now. So JBlue, I'm looking for that 750 kind of break here, but you're seeing a series of higher lows. So I'd like to see this kind of coil up and then watch a break. I think didn't Delta report earnings, or is that like today or tomorrow? Delta is kind of flagging here. There's these airliners. Just looking at some of these airliners, you know. Thought on Boeing CEO. I don't really know. I don't know anything about the CEO. Dan asked about how usual earnings play work. So when it comes to earnings, I don't really get too involved in earnings unless you're responding to somebody else in the chat, but it's too binary for me. I don't have the resources, the models that some of these bigger firms do. I don't have the access that they have. When it comes to earnings, it's the most like competitive area in analyzing the markets. So you're going up against, like, literally it makes it darn near impossible for any retail trader to like be really good at actually taking the time to analyze a company. But that's the thing. You have to analyze multiple companies, right? To keep it going too as well. So I personally just look at, like, so if I go to Boeing, I look at the risk from the implied move perspective, right? So if we go to charts, we'd say, hey, earnings is in the 24th. So like, 10, 12, 13 days, whatever. Go to the trade tab, look at 17 days out. $14 expected move for earnings. So, I mean, it'll change when we get closer to the day. But if I'm looking now, we're looking at, it could be up here at 193, but it could also crack down, down to 165. So that is what the implied move is for earnings coming into Boeing, where the current price is at. It's going to change once we get closer, but you get my point. Yeah, Delta's tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Thanks. All right, what's the S&P 500 doing? Nothing. They ain't doing stuff. But it's not down yet. It's not going down. We still have lost convergence, still a bearish divergence, but no convergence. So we can get still the contra moves to the upside. Go to change here. 518. So it's saying that the magnet's up at 518. So that might bring SPY up to the week to date anchored VWAP, slightly lower. So that could be a potential target if you're looking intraday. 518. That's just based off of just this pull right here.
In Paris, France,
Right.
KOF
Red attracts price, green repels price. The green beneath us is at 517, which price is currently above. So that means price can push up to 518. Okay. So let's go. Let's take it there. Let's get in our rocket ship, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to 518. I jinxed it, didn't I? I don't know what I'm listening to. Rust Bucket version 2. That's what we're doing right now. All right, we're back at that 5,200 little gamma exposure level right here. If we can get above it, be a little bit more positive. Let me see if anything changed from a 0-day perspective. 5,200, 5,220. Okay. Kind of just getting hung up at that 5,200. Remember, prior support can become resistance. We're getting a little hung up there. We'll see if it can break. We will see if it can break. And then 518 right now is the current magnet. So that can bring price up about 60 cents or so on the SPY. Right now, the 15-minute these are 15-minute candles. We're getting an inside trading candle right now on the 15-minute. Let's go. You want to pull up snow? All right, we'll pull up snow. I haven't seen snow for a while because that one got hurt too. So let's pull it up. Let's pull up snow. Oh. Look, we got a nice breakout, but a little pullback here. Come on now. Low volume there. Let's move it back up. Let's fake and shake. Let's shake and bake, baby. Snow. Yeah, so. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking for this gap fill. I guess that's why I drew that. It kind of filled this gap from this high, but technically we closed right here, so the gap would still be, let me activate this and change it up a little bit. Now a gap would look like that. Talk about a fall from grace. This thing was looking great. And then that whole like news that the guy was leaving, CFO or CEO or whatever. Yeah, not a trend really. I mean, we'll probably get a bounce, like I said, at some point here, but I mean, that's rough. You get a little bit of a wedge. Price is tightening up. Let me see what the RSI is showing us. See if there's anything that I can like grasp onto here. I mean, that looks nice, right? You have a low and a higher low there, a little positive divergence. Price action is getting tight, a little positive, a positive divergence. So as prices break into a new low, and then volume's drying up, so that's positive. It might still go like this and create, it might go like this and still be a positive divergence if it comes down a little bit more, right? That'd be pretty cool if it filled that gap like that. Oh, I'd be a little bit more interested in it, but still, like it's setting up.
Legal is saying central bank only uses forex interventions when necessary, saying that FX interventions complement interest rate.
Have I looked at Dixie ETF yet? DXYZ. I don't know what DXYZ is.
Have had to raise interest rates higher.
DXYZ.
Such legal.
Destiny Tech. Is this what you mean?
Has also helped to head off deflation.
Is this the one? I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's crazy. What? Why did it move from $8 to $105 in 2 days? Too much volatility for me. That's crazy. Is this real? What is this thing? That's some craziness. Today it's down 31%. I mean, it could be a trading vehicle for sure, but me holding a swing trade right now, I just wouldn't do it because it's just too big of a move. Like maybe if I knew about it over here, I would consider it like a tight risk and then get lucky. But right now it's just like, whoa. Doesn't mean you can't go higher, but like I look at a smaller time frame, this little breakout right here. Very small time frame. So nice little pop-up, small risk. I like to get that tight price action. But holy moly, this thing, like from here to here, it's $2 per share. That little move is 2%. Like I can literally probably trade this up to 72.50 and make 5% in like 5 minutes. That's crazy. That's some volatility, people. Careful there. That's pretty wild. Pretty wild. I'm fine with having volatility for day trading it, but like smaller positions are quite important. All right. Oh. Coming up on 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for subscribing over there. Chocolate Curry asked about the, sorry, I keep on forgetting. Thanks, Chocolate Curry, for the super chat about an hour ago. I'm going to talk about it right now. I keep on forgetting, man. Sorry. I'm going to pull up the cellular shift tool right now. Sorry, I'm going to pull it up. Let's do that. Let's do that. Man gave me a super chat. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to pull up that right now. I get so sidetracked. My bad. My apologies. Okay. Okay. So this is the sailor to shift tool. Sailor shift tool.
Beamer, BMR, resuming trading again here. Up 25%. Like Romeo.
Okay. There's two parts to this. Bro, I forgot to mute. He forgot to mute. Thanks, Goldie. Welcome in, welcome in. Cynical with the Prime sub. They subscribed 3 months. Hey, Cynical, that means you got the cool badge. On Twitchy. Okay, Sailor to Shift tool. When we have a rate of change that goes negative, right? Where the rate of change between Bitcoin and gold, I'm looking at the 4-week rate of change, goes negative. That is the sell signal. So we hit it there last week. We're still underneath it. So that tells me that we're still on a sell signal, but there's another element to this. There's a sell trigger. And these triggers are highlighted on the screen. All those red lines have been official signals and triggers. The green lines have been official buy signals and buy triggers. And then the blue is marking when we had a signal, but no trigger. So for example, this sell signal over here, the last one, did not have a trigger, so it remained a buy for the price of Bitcoin, okay? Right now, as it stands, we're still in this negative territory. So how do we get the trigger? The trigger comes if we cross below the low of the prior week. And the prior week is roughly at about like just under 65,000. I don't have the exact number in front of me. I'm sorry. Okay, but it's just under 65,000, above 64,000, right around there. So if this week crosses below that, that would be official trigger. Now, if it doesn't, we have to look back at the Sailor to Shift tool and say, hey, did this come back up to positive? Which means this was a no trigger, or is it still under the zero line? Zero line meaning the rate of change. If it is still by Sunday, when the new week forms for Bitcoin, or Saturday, whenever that candle forms, if we're still under here, that means the sell signal is still active. So what you do is you move from the prior week low, and now the next week that forms has to cross below the low of this current week. And then you would get your trigger. And then you would wait for the next sell signal, next buy signal, buy trigger. So as it stands right now, it doesn't look like it's going to cross this week. I mean, it's only Tuesday and CPI's out, so maybe it will. Who knows? But right now, it's just price is consolidating. And if I look here at the price of Bitcoin, I mean, it don't look bad. Look, by the way, do you see this? Do you see this move right here? I was like, how we can just play it right now for a quick 5%? Should have did it. Should have just let me trade it, people. You should have let me trade it. If I just look at, what's the, what is it? IBIT, right? Is that the one? Yeah, IBIT. Yeah. Okay. So IBIT, I mean, this looks like it's just consolidating here, right? Strong move up. Yeah, we're coming off a little bit. It looks like it's just consolidation. So it doesn't look bad from a absolute perspective, but the signal itself that we just talked about, that gives the, caution, it gives the warning sign. That's just a strategy. It's not a holy grail, people. It looks like that looking back through hindsight, and it's worked, okay? It's worked. It's caught big sell-offs. Why? Why is it catching big sell-offs? Probably because gold has been known to be like a safe haven. It's typically a lower beta asset. And then you have crypto, which has been a very high correlated to like the NASDAQ and a much higher beta. Okay, and so more of a risk-on asset. So you're taking a risk-off, risk-on, you're combining them, and you're watching the rate of change between these two assets. So when one outperforms the other, for example, gold is outperforming by a stronger, that means you go into that negative rate of change. That tells us there's something going on here. Now, what I do find interesting is that sell signal, sell trigger, buy signal, buy trigger, they've been working for cryptocurrencies, but look at cryptocurrencies these last like couple of days here. Look at Wolf. Wolf is like it came off like, so like, look at the come off here on yesterday when Bitcoin was doing good, so maybe it's still consolidating here. I don't know. Let me activate this. Come on now. Like it could be just consolidating right here and then getting ready to pop. Maybe break down. But then look at like Riot. That's another big one. Riot got, hit here too. Not moving with the price of Bitcoin. What about Mara? Mara, not moving with the price of crypto. MicroStrategy has been getting hit here too. So a lot of these Bitcoin related equities, they're not really moving right now at the price of Bitcoin. And are they telling us something ahead of time? Because they sold off yesterday, Bitcoin went up, and now Bitcoin's coming in. And now they're all coming in. I don't know. Hey, we got a first time chatter over here. TKAL Joe. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. Welcome in. How you doing? Welcome in. All right. How we doing now? We moving up yet? Coco, come here. Coco keeps on trying to get up. Yeah. Hi, you're live. You want to take over the stream? Coco's entering the chat, people. Careful. All right. So we're seeing higher lows, higher highs in the short time frame for the S&P 500. We don't have a bullish divergence. We have a bearish divergence, but no convergence, which means we can get a move moving up. We're right up about that 5,200, trying to get back above it. We said 518. Oh, hey, Chocolate Theory. I'm glad you got that. Thanks again for the... did you just give me it? Come on, man. You know, you keep on dropping these super chats. I'll try to answer your question without that. You don't need to do that, man. That's so nice. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. So we need a new weekly close below the previous for the trigger to confirm, and not just price action to break the low. So actually, no, Chocolate Curry, I look for just price action to break the low. That's all I do. But that's the strat. That's just my personal strategy. You can wait for a close, but I just say because if we really get a sell-off and it goes, and then it closes way low here, but the prior week was right here, right?
Bill ahead of the election.
You know, it could snap right back. So I just look for price action to cross below the low of the prior week, and then that would be the trigger. There it is. There's the trigger. That's it. And then I go from there. That's how I look at it. But like, test it. I want to remind you, there's other people that I know that are using this tool, but they're changing the rate of change. So they're making it shorter rate of change, which means you get more whipsaws, but you catch the moves earlier. They structure it differently. There's all different kinds of ways you can look at this. I'm just giving an idea, a very simplistic way of looking at it, and it's been helpful. That's it. That's all. Hey, Coco.
Dirty little buddy. Set to become energy producers in our transitioning way.
Goldie, I need a dog. I'm glad you're here too, bud. Thanks for coming in. All right. I love being live, man. Being live is so much better than just sitting by myself making stock market brief videos. I get the good thing about the stock market brief videos is I get to like think through my thoughts and then put things together. But they're significantly harder to build. People get questions and I can't answer them unless they ask them in the chat. But even then, I rarely look at it in the comments. I do look for the most part, but been getting a lot of like just cruddy comments from a lot of like people, and I just like if I don't want to be in a bad mood, I just don't look at my comments, which wrecks it for people that actually leave quality comments. We're floating around that 5,200. XOM and Oxy. Yeah, how's the energy markets looking here? Take a look at XOM. Just consolidating. Look at this tightness. Oh, 3 days tight here so far. Probably going to get a nice explosive move out of that here in the very near future. Let's look at Oxy. Probably tomorrow. Also, 3 days tight here for Oxy as well. Hey, what do you think you're doing, dude? What do you think you're doing? Dudette. She wants to go outside, I can tell. Let me out. Okay. Thoughts on PFE? Well, I mean, Pfizer ain't going anywhere. This is such a huge company. It could be periods of accumulation. Just a huge reversal, right? Like, I'm hesitant given the context of the trend here, because the trend is like, look at the 40-week, 30-week, 10-week. Like, it's a very bearish trend. So you might get a pop up, but it could take a while for this to start to like flatten out here. It's starting to flatten out, but it's such an bearish trend. Like, what I'd like to see is like, look at MSOS, right? So I use this as an example, right? Pretend this is Pfizer, it's down here and is flattening out. Oh, then you get a big pop up and hey, it looks great. See, everything's good, but it's still a bearish trend. And then it got clipped more. And then it took multiple weeks, even over a year. Then it started to flatten out and start to turn up again. And this right here marks the potential early stages of a markup, right? You have accumulation, then you have markup, then you have distribution, then you have decline, the 4 stages. So when I look at PFE from that perspective, longer term, we are seeing it go sideways. We're seeing some volume pockets, but the trend itself is still pretty beaten up, which tells me it could be a while. Even if you see it move $3, $4, $5, you're gonna be fighting that trend, okay? It's like, imagine this, you're going to a nightclub, right? Where the cool trend is at, and you're going and you wear an Ed Hardy t-shirt because you still believe that Ed Hardy t-shirts are cool, okay? You'd be fighting the current trend, I guarantee it. And people are gonna be they're gonna be talking about you. They're gonna be like, dude, you see that guy in the Ed Hardy t-shirt? Cool stuff. Does that make sense? That's Pfizer right now. Bro, you're buying Pfizer? You would wear an Ed Hardy t-shirt. All right, not quite the same, but you get my point. It's fighting a clear trend. So it might look cool, sound cool for the night, move up a little bit, get some points, but the trend hasn't changed yet. It's going to take a long time. Trends don't go down without a fight. I'm ready. Okay. We're stuck in the chop bucket. Right at that 5,200. Prior resistance, broken. Sorry, prior support, prior resistance. Can't do much here. Let's take a look to see here if anything's changed. No, 518 still looks like that magnet. Intraday price target, yep, 518. This is starting to change a little bit here. Starting to wane slightly. So careful here. Careful. Give it some time, but yeah, I'd be careful right there. The way that looks. Probably just chop. Probably more chop. Maybe a little bit of a pullback. Let's pull it back up. It came in a little bit. Nothing crazy.
Flurry Micon, FLE in France, reporting fiscal year revenue 836 million euros. Operating margin slightly improved for fiscal 23.
Let's take a look here at chat, see if we got anything else going on.
In France.
Yeah, I agree, Goldie. The analogies help out a lot.
Flurry Micon saying that due to current uncertainties, they can't give any quantified
You're welcome, Josh.
guidance at this time.
Can I look at Trip? Yeah, I'll take a look at Trip.
Echo in France.
Let's take a look at Trip. So this is also, if you look at the weekly time frame, decline. We saw these big pop-ups, but the trend was still down, right? Ed Hardy people, and then now Ed Hardy might be looking cool right over here. It started to turn up. Now we're seeing some strength. Now it got extended, and now it's consolidating. When you get a bullish earnings gap, consolidated. Now it's pulling back here again. I mean, it looks decent. Is TripAdvisor's is this based out of China? Is this a Chinese equity? Does anybody know? I feel like it's related out of there. I might be getting it confused with something else. Is it based out of China? How can I pull that up? I got an idea. I'm gonna try doing that from FinViz. It'll tell me. No, it says USA. I must be getting confused with something else. Yeah, I think I'm getting it confused with something else. But yeah, price is just consolidating, pulling back, you know, bullish right here on the, when we get a power earnings gap, I love to wait for the consolidations to take place. These are money trades. I love trading bullish earnings gaps. I don't trade the earnings move itself on earnings, but I wait for the consolidation. Like look at Target. Like look at this move, right? Bullish move, we wait, consolidated, had a nice little tiny candle. I played it right here. You can literally see it, and I played it right up into here. And then I even said, I'm getting out here. It looks like it can go up higher, but I'm going to wait for it to consolidate. Now it's consolidating, right? Pull this little hammer candle in, inverted hammer, and now it'll probably come back up to retest this at some point, the 181, right? That's what happens on bullish moves like this. Pulls back, consolidates, maybe reclaims it. Pega was one too that I'm like interested in. So look at here. This was a bullish earnings gap, and this has been consolidating for a very long time, which I'm not much of a fan of. But you can see like it's literally trading within the earnings gap candle. Oh, thank you, Goldie. Hey, Amy, thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you are watching this right now on YouTube and you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because you get notified when I go live. Trust me, on the trend days when we actually have an edge, those are going to be some pretty awesome days. And it'll be clear as day when we see it too. We have the tools to do so. But then also I have the Stock Market Brief Show. I'm also on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, you can follow on Twitch. Twitch, I got both chats open so I can see both of them. If you're on Twitter or X, you know, like there's a lot of people that watch on X. I can't tell if they're real or if they're bots because there's no chat like thing that I can see here. So if you're chatting on Twitter, I won't be able to see it. But if you come over to YouTube and watch me on YouTube, you can see it there. So there's 858 people right now on Twitter. Like, just come over to YouTube. Just come over to YouTube. Oh, wait a second. I can see a chat now. Hello? Is anyone here? I literally just I chatted on. Let's go. We just go. Shravan. Sorry for not pronouncing that right. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome in. Welcome to YouTube. Bro, they're all... Hey, State of Mind is here. There is somebody in the chat. What's up? There's one person in the Twitter chat. That's funny. I don't even know how that worked. This is the first time I saw a chat on Twitter. It's crazy. Okay, let me check. Taking a look here. This is picking up and this is declining, people. So market net flow, the cumulative net premiums for puts, and then the green line is actually going down below zero, and this is starting to wane. So just be aware of that as we're moving into this resistance level. Okay? Be careful there, because like I said, just from an absolute perspective, support can become resistance. All right? I don't think anything substantially is taking place right now, but that could be the early signs this is diverging more. Could be early signs. We still have a main pull over here at 518 though. Nothing's really changed there, okay? But market net flow is telling us something different, okay? Market net flow, market net flow. So no edge, other than what it's telling us right now, potentially pulling back a little bit here. Oh, what do you see? What do you know? What do you know? Oh, what's going on? Oh man, how did he do that? All right, what's going on here? Yeah, look at that. Come on now, people. That was timing right there. The tools of the trade give us an edge. Gives us an edge. Oh, you're welcome, Joe. Thanks for coming in. Ben Swenson, want to look at VKTX. We checked that one earlier. It didn't hit the high of where I wanted it to go. So take a look. So VKTX is one that I'm still interested in, but notice this inside trading day here, the one that we labeled on yesterday's video. It today did not break the high of that. And that's what I wanted, right? I wanted, for an inside trading day, I'd like to see the expansion happen to the outside. It broke the low, which indicates that we can pop to the downside. Now it's still consolidating, so I think it's still one to watch, but I prefer it to get over that high. Now I prefer to see a high above this. So it's on watch as it stands right now. Maybe see where it closes and go from there. But as it stands, it expanded to the downside right now. So if you follow those strict rules, you would not have had an entry in VKTX because we didn't actually break the high. And even if it did break the high, you could still see whipsaws, but then you would at least have a very clear defined risk, right? Very clearly defined risk here, wherever the case may be. That's VKTX. I think it's still nice consolidation, but I'd rather see the strength come in. And the strength I was looking for was to break the high of prior day. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Okay. I sound like Meet Kevin? Crazy. I don't know why. He should meet Michael. He has met Michael. Look at the SPX. I'm looking at the SPX right now. This is ES, actually.
Over 5 minutes, we'll get results of the Treasury's $56 billion 3-year note auction.
Oh, okay, okay. Pull up the SPX by itself. Da 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 da. So, see, this is the inside trading day, how we can break the high, pop up, but we broke the low. So we saw kind of volatility in both places here. Just sideways price action. We're still trading within this day where we got the Israel-Iran news and also the Fed speakers. Right there, okay? And then we get CPI tomorrow. Mike and Ike. Mike and Ike's, man. I used to eat those candies. I need to find a friend named Ike. Is that even a real name? Like, legitimately. Hey, what's up? My name's Ike. Your name's what? Mike? Ike. Mike? Ike. Bike? Sheesh. Random, we went over Zim a little bit earlier today. It's just in a downtrend, man. You get above these declining trends, right? You get above these declining trends, it looks great, but it takes a while for them to recoup and start to change up, you know? So I don't enter into stuff like this, like unless if it's gonna be a very short term. I prefer to have the trend on my side. And right now it's starting to flatten out, but price action's still below it. So it, you know, it's kind of just declining here. That's the 200-day, by the way. I'd like to see it kind of start to turn up and then potentially catch the early stages of a trend change. Okay, let's take a look here, see if anything's changed from market net flow perspective. We got a little bit of that sell-off. Nothing really actually, so we're still no convergence. It looks like it's waning very clearly here to potentially start turning red. Doesn't mean that we can't just see more continued chop, but that little indication was telling us that we could see a little bit of volatility come in, and it's just holding at that 5,200. That's that level. It's a key level there, right? If I go to net gamma, you'll probably see 5,200 right there. So this is, you know, a decent sized level where price is at, and price is below it right now, right? So where does it go to? Well, 5180 or 5175, 5150. If I look at 0 date, 5200 is the put wall. So you want to get above 5200 and maybe try to get that 5220. But we're under it right now. This is what, 51.90? Yeah. Just give it time. Let it do its thing. Did Nvidia enter downtrend? Nvidia's been in a downtrend today, but we started watching this trend break. We'll see where it's at now in regards to that. So we watched Nvidia break this trend and then put in the higher low and then the higher high right here. And since then, it hasn't really done much at all. Actually, it's just been going sideways. Now, if it starts breaking this low, that means we have another lower high, lower low, but it hasn't done that right yet. So this really stabilized the markets, or like this trend break right here helped to stabilize the markets quite nicely. And, you know, Nvidia, not only Nvidia, but Meta too, was one that we broke that trend, that downtrend, right? Series of lower highs connected, broke the downtrend, and that really helped kind of flatten out the markets. So if I look at SPY, kind of similar situation, right? You saw a lot of volatility, a lot of sell side driven by some of these larger market cap names. Let's look at financials because we talked about that one yesterday on the market brief show. Coming in a little bit. This is some decent volatility there. We pulled up like SCHW. I mean, this is just going sideways. This still looks really bullish, but we have earnings right there. Wells Fargo. I mean, also pretty darn bullish looking. Coming in a little bit, but still like
X14 server family.
And then we have earnings.
Providing future support for Intel Xeon 6 processors. Micro exec that appear on the stage with the Intel CEO earlier.
AMD is getting very tight, people. You can call this a bear flag, right? Bear flag meaning you get a pull to the downside. Now, like, look how tight this price action is getting. AMD is going to make it's probably going to gap through this come 5:30 tomorrow morning. I don't know which way, obviously. It would say that you would get bearish continuation to the downside, but then again, these semiconductors, who knows? But you see this very tight move here after this pull. So you get big volume, volume dries, volume dries, volume dries, moving into an event. This is going to pop right back up to the upside or crack down and, you know, potentially take the length of this pull and come right back down to here 150-ish. Wow, yeah, that's really tight.
Former Venezuelan Vice President and Oil Minister Tarek El Aissami has been arrested as part of a corruption probe in Venezuela.
Well, I'll be. Zachary, don't put him and me, Kevin, in the same category. Yeah, I was actually quite critical on Meet Kevin when he was. Seen his portfolio. He literally leaked it on and thought it was like a great thing. But this was during like 2021. And I looked at it and it's crazy to me because I don't know how he is now, but he sounds super smart, has all these crazy narratives, understands things. But then when I saw his portfolio, I was like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? It was absurd. The amount of concentration in small names. And he kept on dumping more and more. I mean, he was a huge proponent of going deeper and deeper into Tesla at 300.
Indirect bid at 60.3%.
We're talking 300 people. Give me a second here, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Got somebody knocking at my door. Little man wanted to come say hi. Mom is trying to put him to sleep, and well, it's been over an hour, and he won't say goodnight. He just keeps on complaining. All right, do you want to go long the market? Do you want to short the market? Are you going to be Wall Street's biggest bear? Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to go along and toss him.
Give me a second here, people. I'm gonna hand him back, and I might have to go put him to sleep here. So give me a moment. Okay. What's that? Try again. Let me know. Okay. Keep me posted. You want to give me the camera, or not the camera, the monitor? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I might have to go help out. Try to put him to sleep. I have better luck with putting him to sleep than my wife does.
Drug for cattle and swine.
What can I say? I'm just like that.
In Alpha November.
Sometimes you got it. When you got it, you got it. Okay. Stomach today. His stomach's been all off for a while though. Yeah, it's been hard. It's been tough. Last night was rough, man. Rough. He would not go down. Constant crying and whining. It's been a while. You love Tesla. All right. So what are we doing right now in the market? We're literally just floating around that 5,200 people. There is no edge here. We got a little bit of a red convergence, negative divergence. It's just one of those things here. We're back above daily VWAP. There's probably opportunities to do little scalps here and there, but the big data is coming out tomorrow and then the next day. 5250 on ES still has been here for a minute. 246 contracts, not much there. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see what else is going on. 5175, there's over 500 contracts there. That's about it.
Local news: Arizona Supreme Court reviving a near total abortion ban dating back to 1864.
Good ducky artichokes. Sailing, take me away. I know, it's too funny. Oh, your business partner lost lots of money by following me, Kevin, during 2021. Yeah, I mean, geez, people got way too hyped up in 2021. And I got so much critique going into 2022 about talking about how from a intermarket perspective, how things were starting to change, how energy was reaching highs, and then how we started to see other sectors outperforming and how it could turn into a bear market. Always a bear. And then we go into a bear market. UNG. Interesting. Yeah, let's take a look at UNG. I mean, this is like, natural gas, they call it the widowmaker. Good luck trading natural gas. I feel like there's going to be a trade here eventually. But man, oh man, this is just difficult. So it's high beta, so take it easy. At some point, we're going to see it move. Right, at some point, but man, oh man alive. All right. A little choppiness up here. I'm looking for something here to play, but I just ain't getting it right now. I'm just not getting it right now. Starting to get a magnet up towards 520 now. Huh. I still think it's possible we come to that week to date. Anchor VWAP, but it's saying 520 now. So what is going on? This market's all over the place. All over the place, people. All over the place. The edge is technically leaning more bearish, but the price action is not really giving us that look yet. I'm not interested in really shorting. Not really interested in going long. Just chop. Taking it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. I think I'm actually going to call it there for the stream today. I'm going to go help out, try to put that little baby to sleepy. Want to say thank you all for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the follows and subscriptions here too on YouTube and Twitch. Appreciate y'all being here today. I'm going to try to go live more frequently. I will do so. I've been doing so. But everyone keep it careful, keep it safe out there. just to revisit the markets one more time, we're below a 5-day moving average and we're below the gamma flip line. So we can see explosive moves to the upside and to the downside. We're sitting right around that 5,200, which happens to be an important gamma exposure level. It acted as support. Now it's acting a little bit as resistance. If we start breaking up through that, start looking at the gamma flip line, 5,250 still managed to be an important level. And that 5,250 line is right up here. You can see we've broken through it and pulled back in many times. To be more bullish this market, I would prefer to see price action back above 5,250. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. I appreciate it, Johnny. Ciao. Say goodbye to my Twitch people. See you, Scott, 69 Conquer, Nova, Goldie, Dijan, Generator. Goodbye. See over there anybody on Twitter? Coach Allen, hey. Hey, what's up, man? He's in the Discord over there on Twitter. What's up, dude? So he's not alone. That's pretty good. See you later, ladies and gentlemen. We have 921 people out on Twitter. Why are there so many people on Twitter? If you're on Twitter, make sure to follow, and you can turn on notifications, but I don't think you need to because you get notified anyway if you're not following on Twitter. If you follow on Twitter, I think you'll get the notifications when I go live. That's all I got for today's stream, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. Till next time.